Hey, it's syndicated radio talk show host, author, singer Al Cole, welcoming you to another edition of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. I come from CBS Radio, and I have this national syndication aired on one of the biggest networks around, Apple's iTunes radio network. Under their professional news talk division, they air CBS shows, Fox News, NPR, BBC, and everything, including C-SPAN. So the best talk in the country around the world on Apple's iTunes radio network under News Talk. And also, I want you to check out my website, peopleofdistinction.org. And you're going to see a lot of the great things that I'm doing with other people, my alliances with people like Arianna Huffington, the founder of the Huffington Post, and also with my media consulting. Yeah, read up on my major media consulting, CBS's major media. And so coming from CBS Radio, I do major media consulting for people who want to know how to make a profit at what they do through interviewing. Yeah, they come on different interview shows, and maybe they have books out, they have coaching programs, speaking, everything. And they want to learn how to become entrepreneurial with their products or services. And I teach them how. I teach them some of the secrets of major media and how to professionally network as well as develop their contacts. And boy, I'll tell you, I've hundreds of people I have counseled that way. And they're doing very, very well. So you can email me on anything that I do. Go to my website. You can see my email address, and I'm going to give it to you right now as well. alcoleholic@gmail.com. Hey, you heard me right. That's alcoleholic@gmail.com. And I really want to thank my CBS Radio listeners for coming up with that handle, alcoleholic. Seems like from day one, my listeners have been saying, Al, we love what you're doing there, brother. In fact, we're hooked on it. We're alcoholics. And coming from CBS Radio, I'm also a New York Times best-selling author with Chicken Soup for the Soul. Chicken Soup for the Soul is distributed by CBS's Simon & Schuster, so we keep it in the family that way. Coming up, I've got a guy who's going to be talking about an interesting topic here. His name is Aaron Browning. And he was brought to me by Link Publishing. Yeah, one of the best publishers around the country, around the world. And if you've got a book that you want to move, just like Aaron, well, contact urlinkpublishing.com. And you're in play for a lot of the great strategies that they can give you for moving their book. Again, that's urlinkpublishing.com. Getting back to Aaron, well, he's got a book out called Diary for Boys. Yeah, Traits and Lessons of Growing Up. Now, he sounds like a teacher there, and he is. And he's a teacher in a very creative way. I like the concept very, very much, where Aaron is coming from. Because in his book, Diary for Boys, he sets up a lot of characters based upon words that we use in everyday relationships to describe those relationships with the outside world. A couple of them are envy and jealousy. So he's got a character named Envy. He's got another character named Jealousy. And they're going to be interplaying in the way that they interplay, in real life terms. That is the lesson here. Now, that's a great way to teach people lessons, to guide people into some of the positive inroads to creating that wonderful life that that they really want to create. And what is better than getting to people before they enter into that stress age of oh boy, I got to look for a job, or I got to maintain this job, and well, my career. I want to expand, and so I'm going to put out resumes in other areas. And wow, I didn't realize that when I got hired by this company, man, I'm making good money, but I didn't realize all the stress that was going to be involved in all of that stuff. And now there's mortgages and everything else, and I might have some relationship problems with my wife or my the husband or the kids or the mother or father, or sister, brother, the best friend, all that stuff. Hey, let's get to people when they're still maybe relatively innocent, before those ages. So what's better than, if you're going to get to male population, Diary for Boys. Get to them and teach them some traits and lessons of growing up before they have finally grown up. Give them some guidance into what life is really about in descriptive and creative ways that they can enjoy learning about, as well as learning some of the life lessons ahead of time. Yeah. Now, this guy's got it down. I like that. And his book is available on Amazon.com, so you can run there and order Diary for Boys by our special guest, Aaron Browning, on People of Distinction with Al Cole. And we're going to welcome him on right now. Aaron, welcome to People of Distinction. And, we want to congratulate you on the concept of your book. How are you today, Aaron?
I'm well, Al, and thank you. Good day to all your radio listeners, but especially the alcoholics and people of distinction. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk to you about my book, Diary for Boys.
Look at that. Thank you so much, Aaron. This is, we're good friends already right from the get-go. This is wonderful. So give us a little bit of your background here as a teacher, somebody who is, a counselor, helps people in creative ways to adjust to the growing up process, and you do it in very creative ways with the character interplays, and I mentioned two of them, envy and jealousy. So tell us a little bit more about this book, Diary for Boys. Open up some pages for us here, Aaron.
Okay. Yes, I will. All right. First of all, I would like to say about myself, I'm a baby boomer. I'm 64 plus years. I have 3 daughters, 3 grandchildren, and finally 2 grandsons. My goodness. But I've taught school for 34 years in Chicago. The last 25 years, I taught at a place called Byrne Elementary. So that means I taught a whole generation. I was teaching my children's children. Mm-hmm. And they would say, oh, you got to take Mr. B's class. But what was special about my room was I gave assignments. I was a little different than most other gym teachers. I had them look up words starting in 6th grade, coordination, power, strength. What's the difference between them? And one year, what happened was 1990, 91, we had all these overage 6th graders, 13, 15 in 8th. And so, you had a lot of puberty going on. You had people that didn't want to be there because they thought they should have been in high school. And some of the teachers were going, oh, what we going to do? I said, don't worry about it. I got it. Mm-hmm. Oh, what you going to do, Mr. B? I said, I got it. So when the children walked in September, Brother Al, after assigning their spots, I say, all right, everybody, we're going to do something different. I say the first 20 minutes of the class, we're going to have health, and I'm going to teach you choices and consequences. Mind you, this is September where they used to going outside. So all the kids were, no. I said, okay, we're going to have class upstairs. For the rest of the year, it was silent. You could hear a pin drop. I said, are we having help for 20 minutes? And then everybody, yeah. Okay. So I had to explain to them that the ones that didn't want to be here, I had to show them why they needed to complete their education to get out. The ones that was in 6th grade, why did they need to go to 7 through 8? So I talked about lessons, choices, consequences, rules, customs, decorum. So some of the characters I came up with was envy, jealousy, and hatred. They hung out together. Okay? Now, but what happened was, boys are hard-headed. I would say, boys, set up the obstacle course. This one's talking to the girl. This one's doing flip. This one is doing whatever. I said, man, why don't I tell you how to set it up? They go, I don't know. So my girls are emotional. I say, okay, first exercise, jumping jacks. Ready, begin. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1. Mr. B. Yes. There's an ant over here. Oh, please, just move the little ant over. So that's okay. That gave me an idea. I said, I'm going to put my 4 girls together. Peace, love, truth, and equality. And they're going to teach the hard-headed boys.
Look at that.
So now, peace, love, envy, truths, they all got together. And so they started teaching the boys. So what happened, here comes my next character, one of the most important characters. His name was Wisdom. Wisdom is followed by three people. Wisdom is an older person like you and I, Al. You know, we can give a little something back.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people of our age, we can give back, which I think is a very important trait. So Wisdom comes with his three friends: reliability, unity, and validity. And if we were followed by those three people, Al, we wouldn't make any mistakes.
Yeah.
So then we had three other characters: despair. That's the result of envy, jealousy, and hatred. Couldn't nothing good come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the last two, who I think are very important that a lot of people need to work on: acceptance and appreciation. So for my whole teaching career, I tried to get people to understand that you were born with a special gift, and you should find a way to create a vocation out of it, make a living out of it, because it's something that you're good at already. You're naturally good. And then the last character, appreciation, I took the Special Olympics to the games for 15 years, and they love everybody. If we had their attitudes out, the world would be a much better place.
Mm-hmm.
When they do something, they high-five and they're hugging. So appreciation, I say, you got your five senses. You have touch, taste, sound, smell, sight. You got food, shelter, clothing. You got a mate. You got a dog, a cat, a goldfish, a bird. Well, guess what? You need to appreciate this life. Why? Because there's some children never made it out of the womb.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that I could add on to that, they didn't get to listen to people of distinction. So there you have it.
Look at that. Hey, this guy is delightful. Yeah, we use that term for the real great guests here who have something to say. And all of my guests have something to say. Aaron does it so descriptively, so creatively. I love this. And you know, a big part of it, Aaron, too, as I'm thinking of all of the characters that you're running down in Peace and everything else, and signing that to some of the girls, and they're teaching the guys, it becomes objective. It's not personal at that point. You're using terms that we use in everyday life, and then you're assigning characters to them to teach people as they're growing up, you know, the boys, the girls, certain things, life lessons, and they're teaching each other. And you're role modeling with those people, but they don't feel like they're being put on the spot. Like, oh man, come on, man, get off my back. You know, they don't feel like that. They feel like they're really being taught. They're being taught in a way that they can really enjoy. It's even, it's funny. It's sometimes humorous, and at the same time, it's dead serious about life lessons. This is brilliant. What you came about. Now, let me ask you here, Aaron. How did you actually, I know that you started out with envy and jealousy and all of that, but how did you come up with even that? Was this something, a lot of people would say, well, it came through me through spiritual forces or something, or I dreamt it, or how did you come up with this concept to begin with?
No, the bottom line is I am a teacher, and I'm always in teacher mode. Every time I see young people, I try to guide them. Especially the ones that's in school right now. I said, what's your major? I don't know. I said, well, you better start getting on it. What's your sophomore? You need to get on it. And we've seen things over the years as we've grown up. We've seen people act in ways where they were envious. They was always worried about what somebody else was doing. They was jealous. They didn't have what somebody else didn't have. They hated people that they didn't even know. How could you do that? But we do know that peace in the morning, peace in the evening, we know about that. We know about love. When you look at a person now, when you walk up to certain people, they just have a certain demeanor. And they're always like that. That's just their demeanor. I saw it when the kindergartners walked in the door. See, because I had kindergarten through 8. And let me tell you something else about those characters. See, I was a different school teacher than most. See, I wanted to make sure that all of my children had fun. So guess what? You ready to laugh, Al?
Yeah.
When they walked in the gym, they lined up on the wall, and everybody got married. Now, what does that mean? That's right. Only thing I was really doing was teaching them from an early age. In kindergarten, we got to learn how to work together. Now, they wasn't stuck with the person. It was just something funny. The girls, the boys would just laugh. In kindergarten, first day, ha, 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 you got married. And the girl go, oh, good, I got Jimmy. He can catch. So now, as they moved around, close, they got to 5th grade. Girls don't like the boys. Get him away from me, Mr. B. Get him away. The boy, what's so special about you? But at the same time, we did a lot of partner activities. See, because in kindergarten, we started out with the game London Bridges. So what is that? Girls on one side, boys on the other. So everybody that's walking through the middle, when I say London Bridges, falling, falling down, whoever you catch, if it's a girl, you switch places. If it's a boy. So I taught them way back then that we got to learn how to get along. So other than that, I would say, girls, what do you all want to do this week? They say, we want to do this. I said, okay, boys, that's what we got to do. And then vice versa. All right, fellas, what we doing this week? And we played everything. I gave a skills test in 6th grade where I tested 33 skills, and I gave it again in 8th. And so I said, okay, you need to go into volleyball. You need to go into wrestling. You need to go into this. And guess what, Mr. Host of Distinction? I got a professional wrestler, the Irish Carbar, one of my students. I have a professional volleyball player, just graduated.
Yeah.
I have a person that played basketball overseas. And I have many people that they have their children now. They're taking these pictures. And I went to 2 reunions. One in 2009 for my 8th graders, told me I had to be there. And I just went to another one this year, June 29th. Mr. B, you got to be there. Because they were letting me know that they really appreciated me for all the things that I do. So that's where I came up with the characters from. It was just looking around at some of my students, peace, love, truth, and equality. We know we had some hard-headed boys, but then we know that acceptance and appreciation, you don't have to hate anybody. You have a special gift. Use it, okay? Appreciate that you have a mother, a father that takes care of you. Even if you have just a mother or a father or an auntie, appreciate it. What are you going to do to shine your life? What kind of legacy are you going to leave for the rest of the world?
Yeah.
Each generation is supposed to be better, right? Right, Mr. Al?
Supposedly, yes.
All right, so that's what I was trying to do. I'm trying to leave the next generation better than what I had. And I'm going to tell you, I grew up great. I went to college on a golf scholarship. So, hey, I played professional golf. I give golf lessons over the summer. I was a golf pro, and during the fall, winter, and early spring, I was a teacher. So I'm happy. And this is what I tried to point out to my students. Get something. I never went to work mad, not one day. Not one. I don't care even if we had some problems. They got straightened out. I used to give all the students a Tootsie Roll Pop for their birthday. All the teachers, engineers, principals, whoever came. If it was their birthday, they know. Come see Mr. B. So this is why I wrote this book. And what I want them to do is for grades 6 through 8, people of distinction, I want the teachers to let the students turn it into a 20-minute skit or play with all the characters. And that is called transfer of learning. So by the time they get to high school, they'll know. Should I leave the building? No. Who should I hang out with? Not him. Should I have to study? Yes. What team should I join? What about dating? They'll learn all of these things by the time they take Diary for Boys. And you got to remember, girls later on, some of you all end up having boys. So it's a good thing. You know, the book is really, I could turn it around and say Diary for Girls. But in this case, I said, I'll let some nice, beautiful lady write Diary for Girls.
Wise man. Hey, we got the wisdom on People of Distinction with Al Cole, and that's in Aaron's book too. Wisdom, one of the characters of Diary for Boys, Traits and Lessons of Growing Up. Gotta love that. And boy, you gotta order that at Amazon.com. Aaron Browning, our special guest on People of Distinction. I'm gonna make a quick reflection here, Aaron, on what you do. It goes out to my people, my listeners right now. Aaron is making it easy to learn life lessons through, the interplay of characters, as I mentioned, the humor, and he's doing another thing that I don't want it to slip through the cracks of you, my listening audience, and I don't think it did, but I'm going to point this out. He is also teaching gender equality. Whoa. Because he's a gym teacher, of course. With gym teachers, well, they're oriented to a certain gender. He's a guy, so he's teaching the boys. So hence, Diary for Boys. But he also taught the girls, too, and assigned very positive, descriptive characters to the girls and said, all right, girls, you go out there and you teach these boys. And that's,
exactly.
gender equality. I'm with you. This is really great. Now, big question here, Aaron. See, if you had your own coaching program privately, well, there'd be no problem. You could do that. You get parents to sign these kids up and everything. But you were teaching in a school system. Now, school systems have rigor, as you know, and they have rules and they want you to stick to. Did you ever come across any static from the school system? I would think that you're doing such a great job or did such a great job that the school system would applaud that. But were there people who said, oh, wait a minute, now, Aaron, you got to stick to the rules here. You're going a little bit too far. Did that ever happen in the school system?
Let me tell you something that I know, and this is a fact, and this is why those students asked me to come back to their reunions. If you get the students on your side, you're not going to have a problem.
All right.
See, that's the secret. See, all the children knew that I loved them, I respected them, and I was interested in what they were going to be. In 6th grade, every student I had at Byrne had to write me a paper 12 years from now. Give me 3 paragraphs. How you going to earn a living? Kent, pick something you're good at. Page 2. Oh, Mr. B, what's your backup plan? Each 6th grade, and I graded all that stuff. And then, let me give you an example of what works and what doesn't work. This one girl, Nikki, she said she wanted to be an ice skater. So that winter, she went skating, she broke her ankle, so they write the papers in September. She came back in September, she said, Mr. B, I don't want to be an ice skater no more. But what you want to be? I want to be an actor, writing another paper. No problem, they do it. See, you get the students on your side.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're not doing anything evil or malicious and you're trying to show the parents that you're really trying to teach them, you're really interested in them, you won't have any problem. Every now and then something will come up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's everywhere, Al.
Yeah.
Every now and then. But I didn't have no problems.
Yeah.
I really did. Not really. I didn't have many.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because the children knew I was interested in them.
That's right.
We had competitions every class. Red team played the blue man group. Green played the yellow. Whoever won played each other. Well, guess what? Whichever squad won, the whole team got candy. Walmart and Jewel loved me. My classes were so competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then, I would let the 8th graders play the other 8th graders. The 6th graders play the other 6th graders. And can you imagine? I bring 2 rooms into the gym. They sit around the mat, and we have wrestling matches. And all the kids beating on the mat, down. and the whole room gets candy by the point. So if you win your match, you get 1 point for your room.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had good times. And I had to teach some of the people not to be afraid of contact. Because as soon as you touch them, ow! I say, no. We don't do that. You can't go in the grocery store and just, you might be at the baseball game or sitting in Wrigley Field or at Soldier Field with the Bears. We can't act like that. If somebody accidentally bumped you, just look at them, acknowledge it, and keep it moving.
Yeah.
So I worked with my students, and I wanted them to be some of the best people that society could ever see. That was my goal. I love teaching.
Now,
I tell all young teachers, you got to love this.
Mm-hmm. Did any of the other teachers, because they were so enamored of what you were doing, so fascinated, did any other teachers incorporate your methodology of teaching children that same way?
No. See, my school was one of the schools that was not failing in reading and math.
Mm-hmm.
And I understood why. Because my principal was president of the Kiwanis Club. And he attached the business businesses to our school. So we didn't want for nothing. I worked at an exceptional school. I was in an exceptional place. But at the same time, that comes with everybody has to do their job. See, I made the school a better place because I kept the students happy. And the words and assignments that I gave them, it helped them upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Every day during the school year, they didn't pay me for homework club. The first hour after school, children can come in the gym. I'd set up about 10 tables. Anybody need help with homework, I had students there to help. So they would just come there. You know, it was just a free place that they can come in. Nobody was going to bother you. Anybody wasn't going to say nothing. And so I was a little different as a teacher.
Yeah.
I was just a little different. I had a special relationship with my students. I mean, how many teachers do you know? All the little girls in kindergarten and first class, second, third grade. I say, hey, little pretty. Hey, Mr. B. And then the big girls, hey, pretty. Now the boys, I say, hey, burger. And then the big boys, hey, hamburger. You know, you didn't have to, everybody can't do that, Al Cole.
That's right.
So the little kids in first, second, Mr. B, I'm not a hamburger. You a hamburger. I said, no, I'm a steak. USDA choice.
All right.
That's your auntie. And so there you go.
Yep.
I had a special relationship with my students. And my principal acknowledged it the year I retired in 2012.
Yeah. Look at that.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I didn't have all those other problems.
Yep, I get it. And my listeners are getting it loud and clear as well from Mr. B. Yeah, we like that.
That's
Otherwise
right.
known as Aaron Browning, who wrote the book Diary for Boys, Traits and Lessons of Growing Up, and he's been running it down here today on People of Distinction with Al Cole, and you can run to Amazon, order that book, Diary for Boys. And, we're going to cap it off here with some possibility thinking. I end all of my shows with possibility thinking. It's a way to encapsulate both the information as well as the spirit or inspiration of whatever my guest was talking about in positive terms, in terms of what if. What if we had a society that was, built on that, whatever they were talking about. I'm going to put it this way, Aaron. The work that you have done in education, and I will say that I'm not a teacher, but I've sat on education committees of the United Way and also the National Urban League, and I've been involved with SIT teams, school improvement teams, my son, when he was going through the school system that way. So, and I've also talked to hundreds of children myself. I've been invited, because of my work on education committees and SIT teams, I've been invited to speak to hundreds of younger people, different age groups, even college. And I always talk about love. What do you love? I never get contentious with these people. And then they open up and, just like you, creative ways. So let's put it this way. With everything that you have done in your tremendous, illustrious educational career, and you're packing it into Diary for Boys, let's say that it becomes part of our system now. It doesn't have to be, a copy of exactly what you do, what you did, but people are more exploratory, they're more accepting, and they're more creative. Now, teachers and school systems all over the country are creating things on the basis of a lot of the inspiration that you have brought. Maybe some other creative teachers as well. It's no longer static, stayed. It's no longer, just based on the ABCs and do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. But letting individuals, letting the kids themselves dictate some of the inspiration here, giving that personal touch. And they feel, like you said, they feel like, wow, this teacher is interested in me. If we had school systems like that crop up all over the country, what kind of country would this look like with that sort of educational system, do you think, Aaron?
Yes. Well, this is what I think. As a teacher, my goal was to inspire. Mm-hmm. So we have public space, personal space, inner space, and outer space. Okay? What the children need to learn is that if I live in Indiana, people in Indiana live this way. If I live in Illinois, they live this way. If I'm in New York with all those people, we live this way. But let's go overseas. In China, they live this way. In Japan, like this. But we all have something in common. and that is that we're living. We all understand that there is positive traits that get you into doors, and there are other traits that shun people from even talking to you. So I would like to shine the light so that people understand. It's just like when you go in a foreign country. The language is different. And if you've never been there, you don't know where to go. But guess what? If you got a certain smile on your face and somebody sees it that's just like you, you're going to receive a lot of help. So those were some of the things that could happen. These are some of the things, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, are some of the things that can happen when you have a student in Chicago that can touch base with somebody in Japan, that can touch base with somebody in France, that can touch base with somebody in South Africa, all over the world, or in Rio. Okay? We should have more pen pals. What is it like in Rio today? What is he doing in Chicago? In New York? Tell me about Times Square. California. Do all the girls want to be California girls for real? Let us know. See, there are things that we can do that you involve children and you'd be surprised. See, I used to give them, I didn't just talk to them. I would set up the obstacle course and say, you got 3 minutes to get through it. Well, what are we supposed to do? Figure it out. So then after they went through it, I said, well, next time, man, you need to try this or try that or try this. And then I watch them and let them do it again. Well, education and teaching is the same thing. How many teachers have a pen pal program? Okay, now you can get on the phone and look. So you mean to tell me the James Bond stuff, the R-Man Flint stuff, then came to life? The Back to the Future, they were talking about flying cars yesterday, flying taxis. So there is limitless possibilities. But the only thing that we really got to do is we have to put that human touch in it. And that is the characteristics, peace, love, truth, acceptance, appreciation. Those are the things that are important. And they go with every family. And if you find something that's wrong, then the best way to do anything, my father taught me, was you sit down and you talk about it. And my mother taught me there's certain things you can't do anything about. So you just move on. So these are the things that we want to do. We want people in 6th grade, this is what I want, to get this book 6 to 8 and prepare for high school so we can produce a more productive society where they will have more personal best days. That's the goal.
Absolutely.
Hope I made a little sense.
Boy, you made a whole bunch of sense, and we love that on People of Distinction. And I'm going to throw in a couple of cents of my own here at the end of the show to express a little bit of possibility thinking myself here in education and even beyond that, just in our human family development. As Aaron was saying, boy, I'll tell you, a little bit of that love doesn't hurt, and a whole bunch of other characters. On People of Distinction, we focus on love in all the innumerable ways that it can be utilized in our world, today's world, tomorrow's world, everything. Now, get this, people. If we had educational systems that really did make the kids, who are kind of like the clients, they're kind of like the customers, make them feel like they're part of the system, make them feel that they're appreciated, then we're going to be doing a couple of things into the future for these people. Number one, I think we're going to have better marriages because these boys are going to grow up to be men, these girls are going to grow up to be women. And if they've already understood a little bit of the life lessons through very easy to understand character development and interplays such as envy and jealousy and everything else, ending with love, wow, they're going to be ready for love relationships a little bit better. And they'll appreciate those relationships. They'll appreciate each other a little bit more because they've already been through that in the school system. The other thing that will be a result of these great educational tools in our future educational system will be that we will maybe even end war. certainly end a lot of the strife that's going on and a lot of the prejudice, because we will have played out these wonderful, wonderful characters with each other at young ages. And whether we're black or white, or whether we're, a boy or a girl or anything, we have lived it out. We understand that at bottom, we are human beings. We're all those babies that came out the first time and said, wow, I'm here, I made it, I'm alive. Greatest blessing in the world, just to be alive. And we'll be living life. We'll be living life on the basis of love, appreciation, on the basis of acceptance of other human beings, and on the basis of real character and real values. And, if we teach that early on to kids in ways that are not prejudicial, in ways that are easy to grasp, and particularly in fun ways. Kids like fun. And if we do it in fun ways, give them these messages to rely on in terms of growing up and maturing, wow, we're going to have a better world that way, people. So let's look to people like Aaron Browning, Mr. B, in education and in other places in our society, the creative people, the people who are willing to go outside of the box in very positive and very exploratory ways and make their mark known to our human family. So we congratulate you, Aaron, for all of your wonderful developments with Diary for Boys, and our listeners are going to order that at Amazon.com. Diary for Boys, our special guest here on People of Distinction, Aaron Browning. Aaron, it's been a pleasure having you on. Keep on going on, even if you might be retired technically from the education business. Like you were indicating, you ain't retired from life. Keep on going on
I want to
teaching.
Open a golf school.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So if I sell enough books, I can open the golf school where they learn the English, the math, the science, the foreign language in the morning, go to lunch for an hour, and pick 2 skills where they can earn a living in the golf business.
Wow.
And I want it from grade 7 through high school. That would be a dream for me.
And you'll be a winner at that, too. Golfer at everything that is descriptive, that you can teach that way, too. Best of luck to you, brother, and thank you for being my special guest on People of Distinction with Al Cole.
I appreciate this opportunity. I really do. People of Distinction, alcoholics, you have a great man as the host. Thank you, Brother Al.
Thank you.